Hello? Hello? Can we kindly rise to receive convocation? Please, let's kindly take our seats. Can we kindly rise to receive counsel?
Good morning. Shall we pray? O God, our Heavenly Father, we humbly request your presence at University of Health and Allied Sciences as we gather today to celebrate achievement and to recognize the hard work of our students. We humbly ask that you open doors of opportunity for our graduating students, that you dispatch them as vehicles for global change, and that you use them as an avenue to bless UHAS, their alma mater. And we pray that you continue to establish UHAS firmly as a giant amongst universities in Ghana, in Africa, and indeed across the globe. We pray this in your holy name. Amen.
Your Lordship Chair of the University of Health and Allied Sciences Council, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Vice Chancellor, the Executive Secretary of NCTE, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Mama Otagbio, I welcome you warmly to the University of Health and Allied Sciences this morning. Good morning. This is the third session of the fifth congregation of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, where we will be graduating the very first batch of our doctors from the School of Medicine and the first batch of graduates from the School of Basic and Biomedical Sciences. Please bear with us as we insist on the observance of the COVID protocols. This program is being streamed live on all our social media handles, Facebook and YouTube and others. In the event that you want to look at what has transpired here today, you could look at the site. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us is the Chairman of the University Council, His Lordship Victor Jones Maulom Doche. He will welcome us to this morning's ceremony and declare it opened. Shall we welcome him to do so?
Good morning, everybody. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, you are welcome to UHAS campus. Togbe Fia Kwaku III, Paramount Chief of Sokode Traditional Area and his elders, the Deputy Regional Minister, Mr. Johnson Avulete, members of Parliament, if present, members of the University Council, Vice Chancellor, University of Health and Allied Sciences, Professor John Owusu Japan, members of the first UHAS Governing Council present, senior management of UHAS, distinguished guest speaker, Togbeo Mamao, members of Convocation, distinguished invited guests, our friends from the media, our proud graduates, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure and honor that I welcome you warmly to the fifth congregation of the University of Health and Allied Sciences. Before I proceed any further, let me pay glowing tribute to the first Governing Council of UHAS, chaired by Professor Kofi Anyidoho, and also to the Foundation Vice Chancellor, Professor Fred Binka, for the tremendous work they have done. I also wish to thank the chiefs and people of Sokode for being very good and understanding landlords of UHAS, as well as the chiefs of Adaku Kojobi for being good neighbors. Indeed, it is a day the Lord has made, and we must be glad and rejoice in it. We thank the good Lord that despite the fact that COVID-19 pandemic has put many things on hold worldwide, Ghana's situation has eased, allowing us to hold this all-important academic ceremony. We do not take this for granted. I'm also delighted for presiding over this congregation as chairman of council. It is a privilege, and so I thank the Lord for his continuous mercies and grace that he has been pouring over us individually and as an institution. The program of activities lined up for this session of the congregation admits of no long speeches. This is because, apart from hearing from His Excellency the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the guest speaker, myself as Chairman of Council, the Vice Chancellor, and our distinguished awardee, Reverend Father Campbell and others, strict adherence to the COVID-19 safety protocols must still be put in place. I will therefore endeavor to be brief. During this fifth congregation, a total number of 786 students have graduated for the 2019-2020 academic year, and this has been held in 3 sessions. This session today is the last session. This graduation is intended to take care of all our students on regular programs and sandwich students who have completed various programs of study in the 2019-2020 academic year. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the university's plan is to always ensure that all our deserving students will be duly graduated in the same year in which they complete their of waiting for a whole year to graduate. This arrangement, we believe, will ensure that our students are eligible to enter the job market in a timely manner without any hindrance. Even though the coronavirus pandemic stalled academic activities temporarily, the university has managed to organize this congregation strictly adhering to the national COVID-19 response protocols. In order to cut down the size of the gathering, therefore, this year's congregation has been held in 3 sessions. All too soon, it is interesting to observe that UHAS is graduating its first batch of medical doctors and medical biochemistry and molecular biologists as part of this batch of graduating students. The 41 newly qualified medical doctors have been duly inducted by the Ghana Medical and Dental Council on October 3, 2020. With the Medical and Dental Council's induction and this graduation ceremony, we are convinced that the university's first batch of medical doctors will soon start saving lives in our health facilities. In the first and second sessions of this congregation held yesterday, 347 graduates from the School of Nursing and Midwifery, 205 from the School of Allied Health, and 110 from the School of Public Health graduated. In this third session, 94 graduates made up of 41 doctors and 53 physician assistants from the School of Medicine and 30 from the School of Basic and Biomedical Sciences will soon receive their degrees in their various fields of study. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, Togbeo, Mamao, ladies and gentlemen, as I indicated a short while ago, this university will today honor Reverend Father Andrew Campbell, who has become a household name in Ghana for his persistent and unrelenting humanitarian support for the community of cured lepers and street children in Ghana. More on this phenomenon later. Your Excellency, distinguished invited guests, in our bid to produce top-notch health and allied professionals, UHAS provides congenial academic environment in which students develop and attain the highest standards of clinical competencies and skills with integrity and ethical principles as the bedrock of their training, thereby complying with international best standards. The university is also on course with its bid to increase the infrastructural capacity to absorb more of the high numbers of students from the senior high schools who wish to enroll on our programs. It is in this regard that the university management recently completed some residential facilities for students. These facilities will be put to use effectively in the 2020-2021 academic year. It is our fervent hope that the much anticipated commencement of the building of the Phase 2 of the university through the ingenuity of the governments of Ghana and China will see the light of day. I therefore take this opportunity to express our sincere appreciation to the government and people of China and our own government for this laudable endeavor which will solve part of the infrastructure deficit of UHAS. Your Excellency, as you might have observed on your way here, the main access road to the university is in bad shape, and so are the roads on campus. It was therefore a great joy on September 1st, 2020, when the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, cut short for the construction of Phase 1 of the Sokode-Titrinu Bypass Road project, which connects the university to Sokode and Mirage Junction, and also the tarring of 5.3 kilometers of UHAS internal roads. We are happy that our roads have attracted presidential attention. It is therefore our hope that funds will be released on a timely basis for the executing construction firm, Mrs. First Sky, to deliver on their mandate. An important issue with respect, which I want to draw the attention of His Excellency, the Vice President to, is the urgent need to finalize the acquisition of the land for the Hohwe campus of the School of Public Health from the Fodome traditional area by the expeditious passage of the executive instrument to complete the process. Request to the university management. In order for UHAS to leave lasting legacies in the foundation region, now Volta and OT, I make the following suggestions. I request the management of the university to make a conscious and deliberate effort to give admission to the best graduating science students from the administrative districts of the two regions who constitute the first batch of the free SHS students to read medicine and or pharmacy, provided they obtain the minimum entry requirements to gain admission and are also interested in pursuing those courses. Furthermore, such students must have attended senior high secondary schools in the regions and also in the districts. This will be a good memorial for the pioneer free SHS students enrollment policy, for which UHAS will be remembered for marking this epoch-making policy. Your Excellency, I now wish to address our graduates. You must take note of the times of the season that you are graduating as health professionals. In this era of COVID-19 pandemic, your nation and community need your services more than ever before. This crowning moment for you today has been a long journey. I believe this has not been easy. Your parents and guardians all deserve to be, as well as your teachers and lecturers at UHAS and elsewhere. At this stage, let me remind you of what Longfellow, in his writings in the Ladder of St. Augustine, wrote, and I quote, "The height by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards in the might." To keep these heights, you must continue climbing the ladder of knowledge. There is no end to seeking knowledge. To make yourselves relevant in this delivery, you need to put the euphoria of your graduation aside very quickly and start working towards your next qualification. That is the only way you can really exemplify what Longfellow again said in his resignation stars. Quote, "Lives of great men all remind us. We can make our lives sublime and departing leave behind us footprints on the sands of time," unquote. I urge you to emulate the lives of great medical and health professionals and leave lasting and immeasurable footprints wherever you find yourselves after this event. I therefore urge you to practice your professions with confidence but humility. You must endeavor to have passion and empathy for the job you do, which is to save lives. Wherever you go to serve, remember to brighten the corner where you are and be good ambassadors of UHAS. Let me refer you to the words of Matthew 5:15-16, which reads as follows, quote, "No one lights a lamp to put it under a tub. They put it on the lampstand where it shines for everyone in the house. In the same way, your light must shine in people's sight, so that seeing your good works, they may give praise to your Father in heaven." This is taken from the New Jerusalem Bible, Reader's Edition. Your Excellency, Togbeo Mamao, distinguished invited guests, before I declare this congregation open, let me give a charge to all our new graduates. The first qualities for a great professional like a medical doctor and other allied health professionals is for them to be honest and secondly, possess the necessary skills and competencies. These two qualities should be paramount to you in the practice of this noble profession of medicine and allied health services than the indecent race for wealth and fame at the cost of human life without regard for honesty and quality of service. And now, by the powers vested in me as the Chairman of Council of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, I do hereby declare this assembly duly constituted.
Chairman of the University Council, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, the Chief of Sokode Lokwe, and other traditional leaders here present, members of Convocation, senior staff, junior members, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to this morning's congregation ceremony. It is the responsibility of the Vice Chancellor to give a report on proceedings within the university, more or less a state of the university address. But given the time available, I've decided to produce the report in the brochure that you have. So and before I proceed, Your Excellency, the Vice President, we were informed that there will be a special chair from your office for you. Unfortunately, that special chair did not arrive, so it looks like, but since you are an academic, you understand these things. Thank you very much, sir. I'll touch on teaching and learning, research, governance, and management. As far as teaching and learning is concerned, we currently have 3,358 students who are in the regular group and another 2,359 in the sandwich group, 17 students. So our student population is growing gradually. This graduating group is made up of 786 students from the various schools listed up there. The first and second sections that were held yesterday took care of the School of Nursing and Midwifery, School of Allied Health Sciences, and School of Public Health. This morning, we are graduating 30 molecular biologists and 53 physician assistants and 41 medical doctors from the School of Medicine, making a total of 94 students from the School of Medicine. In the past year, we used some diagnostic radiography, which are going on very well. It is our plan to introduce some new programs in the coming year. We've started the appropriate accreditation processes, and as soon as we get the accreditation, we will begin to run these programs. The diagnostic radiography is already going on. Orthotics and prosthesis. We also want to introduce sports and exercise medicine. We want to introduce a PA program in anesthesia and also begin our dentistry program. So we have high ambitions and we are growing. And we want to thank government for giving us the necessary clearance to be able to recruit the appropriate faculty to begin all these programs. We are also planning to introduce graduate programs in nursing, biomedical sciences, and then a PhD in public health. We've already started our Master of Philosophy in Field Epidemiology and a Master's in Public Health already. These are programs that are already running. So we are now just going to introduce the PhD program. And again, we are almost at the end of all the processes. So all things being equal, in the next academic year, these programs would start. Chairman of Council, I'm happy to report that in this academic year, there were no cases of examination malpractice, which was becoming our bane. And therefore, the students prosecuted this year. Indeed, It's easier studying than to use this kind of laptop. COVID and teaching has been an interesting experience for us. We had to get our loins and get going. We needed to introduce learning management systems from scratch. And at this point, I want to thank our ICT team, our academic affairs team, and indeed all faculty and staff who helped us to pull this through. We had to use electronic platforms for lectures, group tutorials in lectures on the internet, and do some practical work, and also had to ensure that we reduce patient-student contact. And therefore, we needed to ensure that our skills labs were up and doing. As a university, we took a decision that we will not do online examinations, and therefore, we did in-person examinations all through. Some highlights on the research. Our research enterprise has been growing. The university decided to use part of its internally generated funds to support our faculty to do research, from seed grants to very young faculty, to investigator-led grants, and multidisciplinary grants, and also faculty development grants. This has been running for 2 years now, and in the second call, we received 28 applications, and 10 have been funded. This year, we are providing 20,000 CDs to faculty who are on their PhD work and require some resources to do their field data. This will enhance their work so that the number of PhD holders within the university will grow. Our goal in providing these resources is to ensure that our faculty are ready to compete for bigger grants in the international arena. Indeed, Mr. Chairman and Your Excellency, in the year under review, some of our faculty did pretty well, particularly Dr. Nicholas Opoku at our School of Public Health in Hohoi managed to attract a number of grants for our Uncle Sakas's Research Center. And our team, excuse me, in the excuse me, and our School of Public Health have also been working very hard to attract a few more grants to ensure that our research enterprise improves. We are publishing our work in very high reputable journals. And indeed, our work is beyond that, we are doing very well in terms of our research outputs. Just look at the end of the graph on your right. As a university that is only 8 years old, we are doing much better in terms of research output compared to GIMPA, are they here? Compared to UPSA, compared to UMAT, compared to UNER, and I've warned UCC that we'll catch up on them very soon. Our faculty are very energized to do the right things. Governance and management. Chairman of Council, I want to acknowledge the decision of Council to renew my contract for another 2 years, and I promise to do my best to advance the cause of UHAS so that UHAS will grow from one degree of strength to another. In the year, we have also had a new Director of Finance and a new Director of Public Affairs. We had a new Director of Quality Assurance in the person of Professor Eric Wood and a new Dean of Students in the person of Dr. Kwabena Diodu. The UHAS Appeals Board is now fully functional, and therefore we are able to deal with aggrieved members of the university in-house without resorting to the law courts. And this The board is chaired by a retired justice of the Superior Court. Our students' welfare is very dear to us, and we try to ensure that our students get the best experience. The Gusa Games is something that we've been participating in the last 2 years. This year, we're able to raise a female team. We haven't won any medals yet. However, we've recruited some 3 sports coaches to help us ensure that we win these medals. And as usual, we try to be there to energize them and cheer them up. I also want to acknowledge the chaperones who have been helping to ensure their best experience in all this. And our female team, which went to Legon, made an appearance. Again, no medals yet, but they made an appearance. And for us, that is a good thing. Mr. Chairman, student housing has been a very big issue for us. And therefore, we've tried to invest part of our resources in constructing these hostels for our clinical students at the hospital campus. There are another 2 which are nearing completion, and it is our hope that when this is completed, we will have at least 640 beds for clinical students. Once we are through with that, we will begin to do something similar on the main campus. Mr. Chairman and Your Excellency, the Vice President, there are 2 projects in this university which my predecessor started, which are still lingering on. The School of Public Health in Hohoi is one of them. We have roofed it now. We've installed elevators and everything that has to get going. I want to beseech you to appeal on our behalf to ensure that the GET Fund pays for these projects so that the contractor can complete the projects as soon as possible. Our laboratory complex, which is to my left, has also advanced, but we need to move much, much faster. Chairman of Council has mentioned the fact that we will be in the position to increase our intake to absorb the incoming free senior high school students. But I dare say that we are a University of Health and Allied Sciences, and we require these laboratories to be able to bring in these students. So it is our prayer and hope that this laboratory will be completed as soon as possible so that we can bring in more students. The master plan for developing this campus is still ongoing. This is the first phase of the China project, and we have made considerable progress in ensuring that the second phase is done. If it had not been for COVID, by now the project would have started already. We have already received information that the contractors will be arriving this month, and then the second phase, which comprises of the School of Nursing and Midwifery and the Central Administration, would also take place. The planned delivery time is 24 months, and if this were done, it will provide 3 times the facilities that we have here in terms of floor space. Your Excellency, COVID hit us as a country, and we brought our experience and expertise to bear on the processes in the university, in the region, and in the country at large. We partnered the whole teaching hospital to develop processes to ensure that we curtail and bring COVID under control. We've done the best that we can, and we have ensured that the non-pharmaceutical interventions are used everywhere. And it's for this reason that we have insisted on the COVID protocols for this graduation. I know graduates are not happy that we did not allow their parents to come, but it is for very good cause. And you can tell them to go online and watch you. They can see everything online. Beyond this, Your Excellency, we made our facilities available for testing COVID within the OT, Volta, and parts of Eastern region. And I'm happy to say that we're the only laboratory that was able to produce our results within 72 hours of delivery. And we're very, very happy that we're able to make that contribution. Our faculty and staff were very excited to contribute to the national cause. And for this, I'm very grateful. And I want to acknowledge, in particular, a few people who led the process. There were many more people, but the team was led by Dr. Reverend. They worked around the clock, sometimes submitting results around midnight and 2 a.m. And I'm very, very grateful for them for all the sacrifices that they made in this project. Our university, by courtesy of the Ministry of Education, has increased our staff. Currently, we have 834 staff. I remember talking to my predecessor some time ago, and he said he had to start with 6 people. And he struggled to get people for financial clearance to get going. We are lucky now. We have 834 people to do the work. Of course, the work is much bigger now. We have 359 senior members and 206 senior staff and 269 junior staff. These are the people who make the university tick. These are the people who make the university work, so that the Vice Chancellor can get the opportunity to come and stand here and say, we have done this, we have done that, we have done that. So thank you, members of staff, for all the good work that you continue to do. And as we get younger faculty and staff, their needs begin to diversify. And unfortunately, we have to invest in non-core business. So we are building a basic school to take care of our staff needs. And this is primarily for our staff needs. Almost all university campuses have these facilities. Of course, if there is room, we will admit non-staff, but it is meant primarily for our staff. It is expected that by January, we will open this facility for our staff to begin to use. I want to take this opportunity to thank Ms. Charity Akuzia Jumeku, our Director of Finance, who retired in July, for 8 years of dedicated service, and Ms. Lucio Foray for 3 years of dedicated service as well. And on this note, I want to pay tribute to our late Chief Information Technology Officer, who served the university from inception till he retired in July, and unfortunately passed in August after retirement. We are indeed very, very grateful for the service of Mr. Emmanuel Obingeje. And may I crave your indulgence for you to stand up for a moment to Thank you all, and may his soul rest in peace. Please resume your seats. Again, it's time to say some thank yous. Today, we are graduating our first batch of doctors. And those of us who came upstream are very much aware of the effort of our predecessors, and we do not take it for granted. So at this moment, I want to acknowledge Professor Onike Rodriguez for her work as the first dean of the School of Medicine, followed by Professor Senyor Tagoto, who continued from where he left off, and our current dean, Professor Harry Tagbo, for also taking the mantle from there. It takes a team to deliver all this. And of course, somebody who looks much younger earlier, who led the team to ensure that the medical school got to where it is today. So we thank you, Professor Binka, also for leading that process. We are also graduating our first batch of medical biochemistry and molecular biologists. And again, I want to acknowledge the input of the 3 deans who have helped to chaperone them through this process. We are indeed very grateful to all of them, Professor Peter Taja, Professor Theophilus Adiku, and Professor Harry Asma, for all the work that they have done. Now to our graduating students. You've been here. We hope that you've imbibed our core values and ethos: excellence, innovation, integrity, and service with care. It is our hope and prayer that you go out there and affect the community that you find yourself in. Make a difference and let everybody see that you are of a special breed and that you did not just pass through UHAS, but UHAS passed through you. Be so good that no one can ignore you. Excel and show people the light, that the light that you came through is still with you, and you are able to affect people and serve them with care. These days, there's lots of complaints about health professionals who are just doing their work because it is a duty or a chore. It is our prayer that you will not be one of them. Even as I congratulate you heartily, I pray that you continue to acknowledge your academic and non-academic staff who helped you through this program. Your parents, your family members, your benefactors who had to make all the sacrifices to ensure that you came through the service. You have to show gratitude to them in whatever way that is possible. And I pray that the good Lord himself will grant you journey mercies as you go back to your homes or your workplaces, as the case may be. And it is my prayer that the good Lord will continue to bless us all and bless our homeland Ghana and make us great and strong. I matriculated you in 2016. I gave you the name the Japan Babies. So at least the MBMB students, congratulations, the Japan Babies. And the MBCHB students, congratulations, the Fred Binga Babies. And the students also, congratulations, Japan Babies. Mr. Chairman, before I sit down, I want to make a very brief statement. A whole citation will be read on why we are honoring Reverend Father Andrew Campbell. But it is for very few reasons. First of all, for his contribution to healthcare in Ghana. You all know about his work at Princess Mary Louis Hospital in Accra. Father Campbell has led this charge to ensure that that hospital has stood on its feet. But for us, as a University of Health and Allied Sciences, his role in leprosy control, especially the care that he gives to the lepers, has been outstanding. And we thought that as a university, we needed to recognize that. Beyond that, he's been very passionate about many infectious diseases as well, and healthcare in general, especially the human touch that is usually missing in our care and delivery. Father Campbell would always go and hug the cured lepers. And I realized recently that His Excellency is also beginning to learn same. So I'm very happy that His Excellency has been able to come and honor us all with this, with his presence, especially when Father Campbell is being given an honorary doctoral degree. We as an institution are dreaming of developing a research institute, and we want to build a center for infectious diseases as part of our plans. And if all things go well, We may want to have an Andrew Campbell Center for Infectious Diseases Control. We have dreams, but we don't have the money. So I can't say if you want to talk to God, you speak to the wind. So we have spoken. God bless us all. Thank you.
Shall we give another round of applause for our Vice Chancellor? Your Lordship Chair, His Excellency, as has been the practice over the years since we started graduating our students, we have always invited one eminent personality as the guest speaker to encourage and ginger our students who are graduating, share their tidbits and experiences and a few tips to guide them as they enter into the field of work. This morning, I'm honored and privileged to introduce Professor Enyonam Yao Kwaukume as our guest speaker. Professor Kwaukume is the founder of Family Health University College and president of Family Health Medical School. He is also the inaugural professor and chair, KK Benchil Chair, College of Health Sciences, University of Ghana, Legon. In recognition of his significant contribution to teaching and research in the area of obstetrics and gynecology, he was elected an honorary fellow of the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. He was formerly head of the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology in the University of Ghana Medical School, chairman of the West African College of Surgeons, and president of Obstetricians and Gynecologists of Ghana. Professor Kwaukume is the first person in the world to perform bloodless myomectomy at cesarean section with a tourniquet. I hope I got the words right. And he's also the co-inventor of the medical eligibility criteria wheel for reproductive health and family planning, which was adopted by WHO for the world. Professor Kwaukume is a counselor for medical students. He's also a motivational speaker for his peer groups, as well as the youth. He has written several books on reproductive health, family health, and other related topics. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we welcome Professor Kwaukume to give the guest speech.
Thank you, Registrar. Let me once again recognize the presence of the Excellency, Dr. Baumia, the Chairman of Council, Professor Japon, the Vice Chancellor of the University, Togbio Mamao, former Vice Chancellor and Chairman of Council, the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to deliver this short speech of encouragement to our graduates. And as they embark on their chosen lifetime career as a biochemist, a molecular biologist, or medical officer. To you graduates, I know your training has been rigorous from the very first day of your admission to the university. Your parents and graduate guardians were here for your matriculation. And after much endurance, today you're bubbling with joy for the fact that you've made it to the end of the journey. And again, your parents and guardians are here to witness your graduation day. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to your parents. Chairman of Council, His Excellency, our Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Today, I'm going to dwell mainly on the word start for the speech. Start, S-T-A-R-T. So start remembering the graduates. How many times I'll be mentioning the word start in my speech? Once upon a time, I sat among my peers on our graduate as you are going through today. Soon after graduation, a friend of mine who was a medical doctor in one of the communities invited me to join him and to appreciate me. I was excited and I left and joined him. Then on the second day of my arrival, he invited me to the theater so that I will assist him. After scrubbing, that is washing my hands, and putting on my gown, the theater gown for the operation room, I entered the theater, the operating theater. But he was not behind me. So the nurses were forced to go out and call him. But apparently he was in a community one-man doctor station for some utilities. Then they went over there. After a short while, I heard the word start. Then I asked myself, to start what? I've never operated on myself before. And now, what am I going to start? I quickly recollected all my anatomy, my physiology, my biochemistry, my pathology, and the ladies and gentlemen, especially my teachers, because I was hoping somebody would tell me something at that time. Now, am I going to open a pregnant woman's abdomen? What about if she starts bleeding? Are they not going to seize my license? What about if, in the process, I cut the baby's ears or the buttocks? What am I going to do? I can assure you, all these things were running through my mind for a very short period that my friend did not join me in theater. My dear graduates, that was a time for you to be thinking outside the box. You've reached a stage that you have to learn and learn and relearn. That is a way forward for you now. You will say that the door was open to me to start an operation, or whatever that meant. Maybe he was talking of another thing. But then I have to re-strategize. Should I wait and go to the center, or should I wait and go to the corners? Because at that time, I have to be watching. And I was watching the reaction of the nurses to help me to do what I should do. So I will tell you, as you go through this world to serve mankind, let humility. Although you may be confronted with many issues, overwhelming cases, you should exert your professional energies at any point in time. Some colleagues still ask me, what happened before I thought of the operation of bladder mammectomy? Well, I understand, because it was a rare operation, we don't normally do that. But let me give you something in brief. I was posted to the Department of Pathology when I finished. And in pathology, some of you remember that people think it's just morbid cases you see. But that is not the case. But that fateful morning, when I was entering the department, I met one of our renowned professors. He asked me where I was going, and reluctantly I told him about my new posting, not sure what his reactions would be. He quickly exclaimed, "That is the best thing to happen to you. go and start learning basics of medicine. Unquote. I was obviously surprised. In any case, I did exactly what he wanted me to do. And in the mortuary, I started dissecting the pelvic vessels, that's the vessels down here, looking at the structures, always on the job, and was ever ready to help anybody who had problems with the mortuary. I was excited to do it. The surgeons will come, my dear graduates, you know, we go through anatomy and pathology, the mortuary. The students will come, the surgeons will come, and I was ever ready and eager to help them cut the intestine, join them, go to the vessels, and I was enjoying it. Now, my young graduates, the lesson that you should take is this. If you're posted to any place in Ghana, to any rural area, to any small disadvantaged community, please go. That is where your discovery is hidden. And I've told you a personal story. Now, I'm great biologists, biochemists, molecular biologists, and successful doctors. But let's reason outside the box again and think of some business ideas. I believe you all have heard of Family Health University College before, which were established. And this particular university started from the garage. We took bank loans as stages, and you had to go back to the bank, do readjustment, and finally restructuring of the loan. I'm sure those of you who have business ideas, you've borrowed before, you know what it actually means. We had to sit for long hours thinking outside the box, and with determination, positive attitude, reinvesting the little that we had, and especially encouragement from friends, family. School was established. Nothing comes to you easy, but you have to work towards it. My father once told me that by all means go to the bank and take loan, or take loan for wherever you can get it, but make sure you can pay. Don't just go for anything. Devise means, get your friends, reorganize, get your very, very good friends. Some of them are here with us now. I can see my wife too, who are people that we sit down and learn and discuss all these things. My graduates, you are the first to qualify as biochemists and doctors from this unique university. Every day, and to be the first among equals. Remember, in your collectivity, you can achieve a lot. Keep looking and searching. Don't settle for anything but the best. Don't be embarrassed of failure, and don't need anybody else's life. You have success all within you. Start making a change now. Your Excellency, the Chairman of Council, our Vice Chancellor, the press, Father Campbell, I'm happy to see you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me leave this word with the graduates, which is a question from Zigzag. You do not have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. That is what I'll leave with you. So to me, the story is it. Start now. Believe in yourself and believe in Almighty God. and you will achieve your heart's desire. Distinguished personalities, may the good Lord Allah bless us all. Thank you so much for attention.
Your Lordship Chair, the next item is for me to introduce our guest of honor. But as you know, this is an assignment that is over me. Monkeys play by sizes. So I will rather ask our Vice Chancellor to introduce our eminent guest of honor, after which I will take a photograph with him.
Well, thank you, Registrar. I guess you do not know that the Vice Chancellor is nowhere near the Vice President, even though we all have vices. But the Vice President is a very simple man, and I believe I do not need to read any long biography. His story is already summarized in our brochure for you to know on page 5. But I would mention a few things. That he was the former Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana. And I mention this because we are in the CD auditorium. And, we got this money from Bank of Ghana. He's a renowned economist and has served as an ambassador of the World Bank in several countries. He's well known for his public speaking and his academic laurels. He's received some of the best, and is all written out there. But for us, we want to make him a friend of this university. And that is the reason why we have invited him to come and be our guest of honor. So, in spite of all the good things that are written about him, which you've all read, I want to introduce somebody whom we are courting to be a friend of this university, His Excellency, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Thank you very much. Chairman of the University Governing Council, Your Lordship, Justice Victor Jones Maulam Doche, Togbe Kwekufia III, Paramount Chief Traditional Area, the Deputy Volta Regional Minister, Honorable Municipal and District Chief Executives, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, Professor John Japong, the First Governing Council of UHAS, faculty, senior administrative staff, students of the university, media practitioner, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that I'm joining you today on the occasion of the 5th Congregation of the University of Health and Allied Sciences here in Ho. It's always good as an academic to come back to the university. In the world of politics, it's a very different world. But in the world of academia, it's a much more friendly place. And so sometimes you miss that academic environment. It is also for me a historic visit today because I'll be witnessing the graduation of the first batch of medical doctors as well as medical biochemistry and molecular biologists from this healthcare specialized university. I'm grateful to the University Council and management profoundly for this invitation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are proud as Ghanaians, and government is happy to observe that the University of Health and Allied Sciences is progressively realizing its vision within the shortest possible time of its establishment. The university's vision is to be a preeminent research and applied health educational institution dedicated to doing four things: provide quality educational opportunities to students and healthcare professionals, advance knowledge through scholarship and research, provide patient care and services that will improve health and quality of life, and also to commit to community service as an institution of higher learning. UHAS is clearly on course to achieve these aspirations. By your performance so far, you demonstrated that you are an important cornerstone in the development of our dear nation, because good health and economic development of a nation are strongly correlated. Chairman of Council, distinguished invited guests, the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo administration is grateful to the University Council, the senior management of the university, academic and administrative professionals, and all staff and students of the university for your focus, hard work, and achievements so far. I was just looking at the research that was done comparing UHAS to the other universities, and it is really, Vice Chancellor, very, very impressive, and very impressive. The government is equally grateful to the Minister for Education, Minister for Finance, Minister for Health, the Volta Regional Minister, Executive Secretaries of the National Council of Tertiary Education and the National Accreditation Board, chiefs and people of the Volta region, the government and people of China for the various roles they have played in the continuous development of this university. Your Lordship Chairman, these and many other stakeholders continue to support the UHAS agenda. The government is also aware that the university's School of Dentistry and School of Sports and Exercise Medicine are on the drawing board. We entreat both the University Council and management to continue working in unison with the Ministries of Education and Health, the regulatory bodies, and other stakeholders to make these aspirations become reality. We recognize that you are making progress in the establishment of the School of Pharmacy, Institute of Traditional and Alternative Medicine, as well as the Institute of Health Research over the last 4 years. Well done. Government is also aware that UHAS is championing health research to enhance knowledge and help alleviate the disease burden of our people based on research findings. I'm informed that you recently organized a virtual conference in July this year under the theme, "The Rhetoric to Fund Research by Africa's Governments Must Stop." This important conference is a step in the right direction because it highlights government's efforts to establish a national research development fund. The goal is to promote an innovative research-based development of our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the preparation and laying of the Research and Innovation Fund Bill, which is before Parliament, demonstrates government's commitment to funding research. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, it became urgently necessary to establish additional testing centers across the nation for prompt diagnosis and treatment in order to save lives. Government is very delighted that UHAS rose to this unprecedented challenge to save lives. In collaboration with the Ministry of Health, the Health Service, the whole teaching hospital, and other stakeholders, UHAS dedicated its laboratory in the School of Basic and Medical and Biomedical Sciences as a COVID-19 testing center that's catered for the Volta and OT regions. UHAS COVID-19 testing center has tested 16,753 samples as of October 2020. Out of this number, 852 were confirmed positive. Collectively, we doff our hearts of gratitude to the University Council, the University Management, and the COVID-19 Testing Center team for this patriotic intervention in time of need. Togbeo Mamao, distinguished invited guests, COVID-19 has been destructive not only to our economy, but has also uncovered many gaps in the provision of health care in the country, from access to health information and physical infrastructure to human resources along the entire value chain of our health delivery system. We are grateful for the courageous leadership of our President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to our medical profession for their hard work and counseling, and to the support of the private sector in building a 100-bed infectious disease center in record time through donations and volunteerism. We must do more, and we can do more. The university's plan of establishing a center for infectious diseases research is a step in the right direction, and government will support such a worthy cause, especially as it is being named the Father Campbell, Andrew Campbell Center. As indicated by Professor Japon, the Vice Chancellor, the center, when completed, shall be named after Reverend Father Andrew Campbell in recognition of his persistent humanitarian support for the community of cured lepers and street children, and for contribution to health in general in Ghana. I think this is in order, and I associate with it personally. Let me use this opportunity to commend and congratulate my very good friend, Reverend Father Campbell, who will soon be a recipient of an honorary doctoral degree excuse me, at this graduation ceremony. I want to thank the University Council and management for recognizing Father Campbell's humanitarian support services directed at giving hope to the vulnerable in society by alleviating their plight. Father Campbell is a good man. He's one of my really good friends. We met quite a while now, but it is very interesting that God has essentially drawn our paths together. We both share a deep love of God. We share a love for lepers. We share a love for children. He's a very simple and modest man, and I'm very, very honored and privileged to associate myself with some of the most difficult humanitarian works that he has been doing in Ghana. I think you came here in 1971. And you have not left since, and I don't think you'll leave ever. We will not let you leave. He's just a great human being, and we've worked together, especially in the course of the cured lepers and the street children. He's just so dedicated. It's just unbelievable to see that dedication disadvantaged and the poor and the vulnerable. And so this honor that is being done you today, it is well deserved. It is very well deserved, Father, and we congratulate you. I was wondering what to wear for today's ceremony, but I thought I'll wear something to match you, and it wasn't difficult to guess what you will wear. He's in this beautiful cassock of his, and so I wore white to come here. Ladies and gentlemen, I note from the Vice Chancellor's report that the university is also constructing additional residential facilities for students. This is a praiseworthy managerial effort to bridge the university's infrastructural gap and would hopefully make it possible to increase the intake in the very near future. Chairman of Council, Vice Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, government will continue to support our institutions of higher learning based on their merit in diverse ways to further improve teaching, learning, and relevant research. Through the Ghana Education Trust Fund, the Laboratory Complex project in Ho and the School of Public Health project in Hohoi will receive the necessary support to ensure early completion. So I'll take it up with them when I leave here, since the Vice Chancellor has requested that we ensure the speedy completion of this. I'm also pleased to announce, as the Vice Chancellor has done, that the Phase 2 of the university's major expansion works, dubbed China Phase 2, will soon take off in the middle of this month. The China Phase 2 project is meant to construct the appropriately equip the university's main administration block, as well as the School of Nursing and Midwifery. We are grateful to our Chinese counterparts for their commitment to this project. Distinguished invited guests, in order to support the university to continue to deliver on its mandate, government upgraded the Volta Regional Hospital to the Ho Teaching Hospital, which currently serves as the university's major hands-on clinical environment. Government has plans to further equip the teaching hospital to effectively partner with UHAS while providing tertiary health care to the Volta and Onoti regions. The road network linking Ho and Sakode to the university main campus for a long time has been in a bad shape. Excuse me, hampering academic work and clinical work. Thankfully, the President has cut the sword, and we will ensure that it is done expeditiously. I would like to congratulate all the graduates for the efforts that you've made in getting here today. Make your university and Ghana proud. Work with diligence and commitment. Take care of your patients in humility and with integrity. Building a healthy society with a touch of compassion, humility, and integrity of service is the goal of all of us, and we should all aspire to be that. There can be a bit of Father Campbell in all of us. Help build the nation, Ghana, as best as you can. Health and economic development are inseparable for our progress as a nation. As we build our human capital through education, it is just as important for us to maintain a healthy population to maximize our human capital investment dividends. In our community service, let us promote health literacy to the population as much as we promote ethics among health professionals through our training. May God bless our human efforts doing all these. I thank you for your attention. May God bless us all. Thank you, and congratulations to the graduates.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your speech. Shall we please applaud him one more time for honoring our invitation in the first place? Per your programs, we are at the point where we will confer the honorary degree on Reverend Father Andrew Campbell. It's a short ceremony. We will ask him to step forward, after which the chairman will present him with a certificate after the citation is read. Your Lordship Chair, I wish to invite Reverend Father Andrew Campbell to step forward. Please walk majestically to the stage. Please come up a little bit more to the right, my left-hand side. Thank you very much. Father Campbell, are you all right? Yes. We will invite Professor Evelyn Koko-Ansah to read the citation.
Chairman of Council, Your Excellencies, I'm truly honored to be called upon to read the citation of Father Andrew Campbell, and I read, Andrew Campbell, priest and father, friend of the poor, brother to the needy, servant of humankind. Your persistent humanitarian support for the community of lepers and street children has earned you the affectionate title, the leper priest. Born in Ireland in 1946 and ordained into the Catholic priesthood in 1970, you sailed into the Tema port on October 13th, 1971, to work as a Catholic missionary priest in the Society of the Divine Word in Ghana, and received your Ghanaian citizenship on July 3rd, 2013, several long years after you sailed into Ghana. Over the years, you have taken an active interest in the plight of the poor and needy, particularly cured lepers. Your public displays of solidarity have been about rehabilitating Ghana's lepers and breaking down the prejudice that makes outcasts of them. Your desire to help the poor and needy drove you to form Lepers Aid Committee, a group of young people determined to assist cured lepers by raising funds. You are also a founding member and co-chairman of Environmental Protection Association, West Arena, Accra, an NGO founded to help people take responsibility for keeping their surroundings clean. You have actively championed the rights of lepers within your own parish, often inviting them to services where they are given the place of honor. Your tireless efforts have been based on your belief that improvements can be made in the lives of the poor and needy, not only through state subsidy, but also through charitable donations and fundraising. With the monies you raised, you started several initiatives, including a mill in the leprosarium in Accra and several other places in Ghana, a soap-making venture, mat making, poultry farming, and dressmaking for those who still have functioning fingers, all aimed at equipping cured lepers with skills that will allow them to be self-sufficient. As a result of your lobbying, a number of government ministers and philanthropists have lent their public support to your work. Today, through church initiatives and government-led policies, Ghanaians are beginning to handle the plight of lepers in a more compassionate manner, and you have a great contribution to this particular situation. As a of government ministers and philanthropists have lent their public support to your work. Apart from your responsibilities as a parish priest over the years, you have been an active and respected member of many communities, and you have been widely recognized for your philanthropy, not only in Ghana, but globally. When asked why the lepers are so close to your heart, you said without hesitation, and I quote, "If you are ever feeling down and out, and you go and see the lepers, you will come back a different person. They have so much hope, and they are grateful for the little they have materially. I see them as a sign of hope and encouragement, a blessing for our society. They are our treasure because they bring out the good in other people," unquote. Reverend Father Andrew Campbell, because of your persistent humanitarian support for the community of lepers and street children, the University of Health and Allied Sciences, UHAS, is proud to be associated with you and delighted to honor you on this day, November 6th, 2020, with the Honorary Doctor of Science degree, honoris causa, for your unflagging impact on leprosy control and health and development in Ghana. Ayeko.
Please keep the applause going. The Vice Chancellor will robe the recipient.
You didn't get the tuber cup. Why?
Please keep the applause coming. The cup. This is called academic pomposity. Reverend will shake hands with the will acknowledge the course on stage and give us an acceptance speech.
just remind me. My notes are there. To God be the glory, great things he has done. His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, the Vice Chancellor, University Council, and all distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Before I give my acceptance speech, I just want to say a word to our new doctors. A few weeks ago, I was sick in hospital. I was admitted to the University of Ghana Medical Center. And as you look at me now, I'm a walking miracle because I shouldn't be here. But thanks to the doctors and nurses of that hospital, thanks to them, I'm alive now. I owe so much because of the diligence and work of the doctors of that hospital. I tried to get up one morning and I wasn't able to get out of bed. I was taken to the hospital thinking that people thought I had COVID. I had pneumonia of the lung, a clot in the lung, and malaria, all three together. On the 11th of July, midnight, I had a crisis. My temperature was over 40 degrees. My blood pressure was 70/30. And thanks to the doctors and nurses and the grace of Almighty God, I am here today. And I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to those doctors and nurses. I owe my life to them. I owe my life. So my dear young doctors and nurses, you have so much to offer us. I owe you my life. When I was being discharged, I didn't know what to do. All the nurses and doctors, they came for a blessing, and I gave them a blessing. But I got each and every one of those doctors and nurses. There were 22 who took care of me. 22 doctors and nurses. And I got each and every one of those 22 a half piece of cloth each. And I gave it to them and said, you saved my life. I'm alive. I'm a living miracle. And I want to say thank you. And I go back to the hospital, and I'm so proud of those doctors and nurses. They saved my life. And I am today standing before you as a living miracle. So my doctors and nurses, thank you for saving my life. The time you spent with me, the diligence and the care you gave me, I say thank you. Now my short speech. Honestly, I feel so unworthy to stand here before you, but I will give what I've written here. In March 1971, as a young priest, I watched a program on BBC on Mother Teresa of her life in India. Mother Teresa is my role model. It was produced by an Englishman called Malcolm Muggeridge. Malcolm visited the poor, the needy, and the outcasts and lepers with Mother Teresa. One day he asked Mother to describe her work. And she said, my work is doing something beautiful for God. This description of her life made a big impression on me as a newly ordained priest, preparing to come on my missionary life to Ghana. I decided not only to adopt this motto, but to live it as a divine missionary priest. When I came to Ghana, I worked at the Holy Spirit Cathedral in Accra. One day, a leper came to me, and I must say, I was a little frightened. No fingers, no toes, and a deformed face. And what did he do? I said, hey, what do I do? I never saw a leper before. I only read of the lepers in the Bible. So what do I do? I was scared. I said, will I get leprosy? So I gave the mangoes away, but I felt guilty. And I decided to visit this leper and the other lepers at Waja Leprosarium. When I went there, I was shocked, dismayed. What I saw, a community of forgotten, destitute, hungry, sick people, stigmatized by society because they suffered from leprosy. They were forgotten and abandoned by their families. The time the families would come to see them was at their funeral. Other times they wouldn't come. But for the funeral, they came. Because if they don't give them a good funeral, they say the disease will come back to their village. So they came and gave them a good funeral, often coming with carloads of beer and soft drinks and others to celebrate. There and then I decided I would do something beautiful for God by giving my life to these chosen people of God. For 44 years, I've been happily ministering to these people. At first, I took care of those at Waja. I begged for food for them. I took them to hospital, often for amputations, and I buried them when they died. One day, the former president, Mahama, visited Waja. After greeting them and shaking their hands, I asked the former president, I need financial assistance to help complete a 40-room facility for the lepers in Nkanchina in the northern region. The former president looked at me. He said, Father Campbell, you're a real beggar priest. We both laughed, but I got my money. And I built a new facility for the lepers at Nkanchina. Over 30 years ago, I formed the Lepers Aid Committee, an NGO of young, committed people who ministered to the lepers at Waja, Nkanchina, Ho, Kukufu, Cape Coast, and Upper West. We still have a lot of work to do. Last year, 2019, over 280 new cases of leprosy were reported in various medical facilities in Ghana. I hope and pray that the doctors soon you'll be appointed to various hospitals. If there's any leprosarium near you, that you'll minister to them. 5 years ago, I noticed young people begging after the church service of Christ the King. So I decided to call these young people together and give them a daily breakfast. That was the beginning of Christ the King Soup Kitchen. Since then, we have fed over 400,000 meals to street children with a hot meal daily, every day. 400,000. And during the lockdown, we were feeding up to 800 children a day in various parts of Accra. And I want to take this opportunity of thanking most sincerely our Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, who always came to my aid when I ran short of money and food. He didn't tell you the times I'd come and trouble him. I need money. I need money for an amputation. I need money for food. I always got it. Always so kind to me. And I want to say I'm very grateful. And the last 2 years, the 1st of January, he invited to his house, himself and his wife, invited all the lepers at Waja and all the street children I take care of. And we had a big party on his compound, in his garden. children, nobody else. So, Doctor, thank you, thank you, thank you. We've been able to send some of our street children to JHS and SHS. Some we have rehabilitated back to their families. Plans are far advanced for the formation of Father Campbell Foundation, a foundation that will assist and continue my vision of doing something beautiful for God. But we need to do much more for our poor and needy. We who are strong and well must help those in need. Matthew 25, when I was hungry, you fed me. In prison, you visited me. A rich man shared what brought him happiness in life. He said, it wasn't my wealth or my property or my cars or my land. It wasn't these that brought me happiness, he said, but buying a wheelchair for a poor, handicapped child. When he presented a wheelchair to this child, he saw the joy, the happiness. He sat in the chair and went around the room wheeling his wheelchair on it. That made him happy. So if you want to be happy, I'll give you the formula. Make somebody else happy. When you make somebody else happy, you will be happy. And that's where this man got his happiness. Not from money, not from wealth, not from property or land, but from making somebody else happy in life. The lepers, and they need help. The lepers some in Ho here, some in Wager, but the others are not on the LEAP fund. They get 1 CD a day. Who lives on 1 CD a day in the year 2020? I'm begging the government, please, 1 CD a day is not enough. It's not enough. When they come for operations, they come for medicine, they come for all sorts, I've got to go and beg people. Recently here at Ho, they needed food. They didn't have food. Food and medical supplies here in Ho. I took my phone and I rang the Minister for Finance. I said, "You're honorable, I need money." "Yes, Father." He said, "How much do you need?" I said, "I need 60,000 CDs. And he gave it to me. He gave me that money and I brought food to last between now and Christmas. I bought a bag of rice for each leper. I bought all sorts of things to make them happy between now and Christmas. It worries me when I see things like this happening. Why should they suffer? It's not their fault they have leprosy. And to be put on 1 CD a day, please, let's do more than that. Let us share and care for these people by visiting them, sharing our food with them. I thank the Vice Chancellor and the University Council for honoring me with this honorary PhD for my work in leprosy and street children. I feel so honored and so humble standing before you, receiving this honor. Catholic priest. I love being a priest. I love doing the work that Jesus gave me to do, of bringing hope and bringing love to other people. That's my work. I'm continuing Jesus' work on this world, bringing love to people, bringing love, bringing dignity to people. This is my work, and I love it. And I thank God that this year, on the 20th of December, I will be 50 years a priest. And I thank God for giving me that grace of 50 years priest, and all of them here in Ghana. That's why I've been here for, I'm going on 50 years, and I have a Ghana passport, I have identity card, and I have a voting card. I have all of those, and I'm known as Ni Lante in Accra. Ni Lante. So, to me, I want to say thank you. And to have your Institute of Infectious Disease called Andrew Campbell, oh my goodness, I'm so honored. And I want to say thank you very much. I give glory to God for this honor, which I humbly accept. And I want to dedicate this award to my dear parents who taught me how to love and they taught me how to give. I want to say thank you, and I give this award dedicated to them. I also dedicate the award to the Lepers Aid Committee, to all those young people who help me all the time. I dedicate this award, and all friends and benefactors, and especially to the cured lepers in Ghana and our beloved 3 children. I thank you. I ask you to continue to support in every way the poor and the needy. Remember, on the last day, God will ask you, when I was hungry, did you feed me? When I was in prison, did you visit me? When I was naked, did you clothe me? That's the question you'll be asked. May always say, yes, I did my best, and I help poor and needy people. Thank you, and God bless you.
Please, shall we applaud as he takes his seat? Thank you very much, Reverend. Thank you for honoring us with your presence, even as we honored you. Did you know that he was called Nilante? It is not the Odododio Lante, so this is the proper Nilante who takes care of the poor. Thank you very much. We'll proceed with the next segment, the conferment of degrees. Yesterday, we mentioned that because of the COVID protocols, we were unable to ask you to come all the way up to the stage and do the walk and take the usual handshake. We have progressed from yesterday. This morning, it is possible for you to take the walk towards your right, pick up a medal, and walk back to your seats. Is that okay? And you can take the photographs and so on later. Your Lordship Chair, with your permission, are you ready at once? With your permission, I'll call on the Dean of the School of Basic and Biomedical Sciences, Professor Richard Harry Asma, to present the candidates who have fulfilled the requirements for the award of degrees.
Will the graduating candidates of the School of Basic and Biomedical Sciences please stand and remain standing? Chairman of Council, I have the honor and privilege to present to you graduates of the School of Basic and Biomedical Sciences who have fulfilled the requirements for the award of Bachelor of Science degree to be admitted to the said degrees of the University of Health and Allied Sciences.
By the authority conferred on me as the Chairman of Council, I, Justice Victor Jones Maulom Doche, formally admit you to the respective degrees of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, School of Basic and Biomedical Sciences, Ayiko.
Abudiatero Daelikem, Adenusa Veronica Fafali Ami, Adegbeji Sena Ami, Ademang Sylvia, Ajaho Francisca, Agbenyo Bless Seiram, Agrippa Abina Frimpoma, Ahobu Michaela Esinam, Anani de Dilis Nwemedi, Ama Vejesu Evans ni, Asamuama Oliklim Kofi, Asanti Dana Mirekoa, Asedu Emmanuel, Bansa Mawenam Komla, Ka Rosina Efwa Ampuma, Daniel Emmanuel Komla, Donzala Asoma, Fuma Do Sebastian, Honyo Monia Enyonam, King Gabriel Emmanuel, Kotoka Geoffrey Kwame, Kuma Mauto, Mens Joanna Kwansima, Note Abraham Norman, Ofe Hayford Osei, Ofosu Emmanuel Nkrumah, Ofosu Christopher Ejay, Sala Gabriel Etonam, Winada Elizabeth Bomion. Thank you.
Please take your seats. Your Lord Chairman, with your permission, I call on the to present the candidates who have fulfilled the requirements for the award of degrees.
Will the graduating candidates of the School of Medicine please stand and remain standing? Chairman of Council, I have the honor and privilege to present to you graduates of the School of Medicine who have fulfilled the requirements for the award of a bachelor degree to be admitted to the said degrees of the University of Health and Allied Sciences.
By the authority conferred on me as the Chairman of Council, I, Justice Victor Jones Maulom Doche, formally admit you to the respective degrees of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, School of Medicine, Ayiko.
Bachelor of Physician Assistantship Clinical, Abamnunu Samuel, Abu Hamidu, Echampon Enoch, Adebe Noble, Adivo Justice Ralivon, Ajido Ebenezer McCaffrey, Abonuzu Newton Isaac, Eje Samuel, Apabli Doreen, Akolobik Cynthia Ajingri, Echama Lydia Ousu, Amankwa Henrietta, Amankwa Patricia, Amepewupa Petra, Anan Isa Yemo Suli, Entry Opoku Samuel, Apaflo George Williams, Apreku Herbert, Ata Wilfred, Awume Josephine Love, Anyini George Alima, Ba Mabel Efwa, Bechi Emmanuel, Bosochi Albert, Damali Elisha Maufemo, Dramina Desmond Siao, Jope Stephen Ellen, Ebenezer Azayenku, Eugene Gidi, Foley Christian, Hayford Eugene Emisa, Heavy Bernard, Janol Gazayembe, Kado Faisal, Petro Gabriel Kwakuche, Kwame Theophilus Na, Manford Rita Awu, Mensa Bismarck Mawuku, Mensa Ekum, Mensa Idens Keklem, Michael Treme, Nachuga Isaac Israel, Yemelbe Lawrence Stephen, Oforuwa Mavis, Owusu Achem Pem Nana, Philip Kusi Bonsu, Kwashi Dorothy Seyram, Kwe Millicent, Saka Felicity, Nana Kana, Tenda Ebenezer Awusika, Jampu. Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery, a 3-year Augustine, Abesi Silas, Aga David Mauli, a Japan Kofi Entry, I hear Dome Bendis Ama, a Pesa Emmanuel Kwaku, Ala Kwakasi Kofi, Ameteme Anfos Awuku, Anatri Angelo Ejoji, Ayimado Kweku Daniel, Apia Kubi Seth Martin, Arthur Anthony Lucky, Arthur Jemima Ekua, Asante Edmond Atta, Asante Meshrak Okran, Asantua Georgina, Atisu Edem, Ayakwa Wisdom, Bewo Fidelis, Bweduwa Amofaya, Buachi Emmanuel Inti, Brako Richmond Efrifa, Bruku Samuel Yao, Dankwa Bismarck Yabua, Dr. News Carlos, Esau Obert Ruth, Esilfi Francis, Frempon Richard McLean, Gavo Samuel Eduji, Loglo Victor, Celestina, Ochredako Kwabena, Oman Albert, Osam Frimpon Shandoff, Panada Emmanuel Wimby, Sapon Bernard, Sefa Kranti Doreen Dankwa, Sosa Elinam Armstrong, Taseme Esther Fafali, and Thomason Ifwa Sylvia.
Congratulations. School of Basic and Biomedical Sciences and School of Medicine graduates. Now I would like to call upon the overall best student among this year's graduating classes. As you know, we had 3 sessions, and each session had a valedictorian who was the best student for the schools represented in that session. So for this session, Rosina Efwa Ampomaka from the School of Yes. She is not only the valedictorian for this session, but she's the overall best student this year, University of Health and Allied Sciences. Congratulations.
Your Excellency, Dr. Mahmoudou Baumia, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Chairman of the University Council, the Vice Chancellor, Pro-Vice Chancellor, Registrar, Deans and Directors, faculty and staff, members of the Regional House of Chiefs, distinguished guests, members of the graduating class of 2020, all protocols observed. It is a great honor for me to deliver a speech on the behalf of the UHAS graduating class of 2020. This journey has been long, exciting, and most of all, a wonderful learning experience. Most of us wondered if our dreams of ever graduating in a grand style had been shattered by the rigors of COVID-19. But here we are, finally graduating in this auditorium with the opportunity to see the faces of each other and be encouraged by the smiles and facial expressions of our fellow colleagues. It couldn't have gotten any better. It all began 4 years ago when enthusiastic senior high school graduates enrolled in this great institution with high expectations of ascending the academic ladder. Our first day at the university was met with an array of emotions, not knowing what to expect in this new environment. As these years progressed, we had our own share of disappointment and exciting moments as well. Needless to say, all these experiences made our transit through this noble institution a memorable one. When we began, a lot of us had vague pictures of the courses we were to do and didn't really know what to expect. Despite a few struggles, we began to gain better appreciation of the courses we offered as we went ahead. One vital experience we are grateful for is the opportunity to establish long-lasting networks with key personalities and friends through this academic journey. I can still vividly recall times when the hostel we occupied would be dead silent, and only the endless chatters of our neighboring bush-inhabiting creatures will be heard in the face of an impending interim assessment or end-of-semester examination. There were some memorable moments where we would employ massive team efforts in conquering the various and assessments we had to write, as well as amusing moments where colleagues having good intentions of going to class to study will only be found a few hours into the night using their books as pillows. What have we learned in these years? Firstly, no man is an island of success. There are several men and women involved in the making of every success story. Secondly, whatever you desire is as far from you or as close to you as you make it look. Nothing is beyond your reach if you set your mind to it. Furthermore, God gave us life as a gift to be a blessing to our world. Let's make each and every moment count. All of these memories and experiences we have had both inside and outside of our lecture halls by interacting amongst ourselves and other people have shaped us into who we are today. We are very grateful to God for making this journey possible. To our parents and guardians who went out of their way to sponsor and care for us, we are immensely grateful to you. To all UHAS staff who created a suitable environment for teaching and learning, we thank you. And to the outstanding class of 2020, we made it, we finally graduated. I would like to especially thank my mommy and daddy, Apostle and Mrs. Carr, for their love and guidance. I really appreciate all you do for me. Sorry. Yes, please. To the deans of SBBS, HODs, faculty, and Dr. Adra, my supervisor, I'm very grateful to your enriched guidance and counseling. To Sir Richmond, I thank you for your always being there for me to guide me in every aspect of my life. And to the people who loved and raised me in the things of God, redefining what I call purpose, I thank God so much for you. Now, I leave us all with a message in Matthew chapter 28, verse 20, the very words of Jesus. I will never leave nor forsake you. Be comforted by these words and know that the Lord is with you and you are never alone in this journey of life, no matter what happens. Thank you.
Shall we keep the applause going? In the beginning, it hasn't been easy, but they have made it. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Please take your seats. For a moment, I wasn't sure if the tears was tears of joy or the hardship they went through. They want to refer to our university as University of Heat and Stress, but there is nothing like that. The story, you know the story of the refined gold. Gold must always go through heat and stress to be the finest one. So I believe that the tears is tears of joy. We will take a short musical from our choir, and then after which we will have the Pro-Vice Chancellor do the award of academic prizes. We have instituted the award scheme, not really to say that some people are not doing well, but we just want to acknowledge and recognize those students that have performed exceptionally well. And the Pro-Vice Chancellor will do that immediately after the choir gives us a song. Thank you.
Okay, so I will go through the list of students who deserve these awards. Please, when you hear your name, walk up here and pick your award. I will start from School of Basic and Biomedical Sciences. So we have the Professor Peter Wisdom Ataja Prize for the outstanding graduating student in biochemistry and molecular biology. Professor Peter Ataja is the sponsor of this award, and it goes to Car Rosina Afua Ampoma. Please, would the Dean of School of Basic and Biomedical Sciences present the award to Rosina? The second award is the Professor Theophilus Evangel Koku Adiku Prize for the best graduating student in microbiology. And the sponsor of this award is Professor Adiku. Again, Carl Rosina should come forward for this award. The next award is the Murray Prize for the best project in molecular biology and bioinformatics. The sponsor is Dr. Kwabena Diedu. This goes to Mens Juama Kwansima and Dr. Ruben Aivo will present this award. The final award for the SBBS is the Darwin Trust Prize for the best student in science communication and public engagement. The sponsor is the Darwin Trust of Edinburgh. And again, it goes to Mens Joanna Kwansima. Dr. Kwamna Biodo will present this award to her. So I'll move to School of Medicine now. We have the Dr. Pascal Mokumbi Prize for the outstanding graduating student in Bachelor of Physician Assistant program. The sponsor for this is Prof. Fred Binka. And it goes to Jokwe Stephen Ellie. The next one is the Mr. Thomas Boatina Piaget Pharmacology Prize for the best graduating preclinical student. And the sponsor is Mr. Piaget, and the recipient for this award is a Japan Kofi Entry. Mr. Apiaje will make this presentation. The next award is the Professors John and Margaret Japan Prize for the best in community medicine. And the sponsors are the Japan family. The recipient is Osam Frimpong Shandorf. I've mentioned it. The next one is the Professor Evelyn Ansa Prize for the best graduating female student in community medicine. And Professor Ansa is the sponsor for this, and it goes to Ahiadome Venice Ama. The next one is the Professor Kwabna MP Danso Prize for the best graduating student in obstetrics and gynecology. So Professor Kwabna MP Danso is the sponsor. This will go to a Japan Kofi MP. And Miss Era Ama Aduma Danso will do that. The next is Dr. Archibald Yao Lecha Prize for the best graduating student in pediatrics and child health. And the sponsor for this is Dr. Archibald Yao Lecha. It goes to SLF Francis. He couldn't be here, so he has asked Dr. Timothy Lecha to do that on his behalf. The next prize is the Professor John K.M. Corte Prize for the best graduating student in surgery. The sponsor for this is Dr. Koku Awuno. And the recipient is Gavor Samuel Eduji. He has asked for Professor Anyidoho, the uncle, to present this on his behalf. The next prize is the Professors Frank Edwin and Martin Tamate Prize for the best graduating student in cardiothoracic surgery. So the sponsors are Professors Frank Edwin and Martin Tamate. And this goes to Gavon Samuel Eduji. So Prof. Edwin will present this. Thank you. The next award is the Professor David Ofori Ajay Prize for the best graduating student in medicine and therapeutics. The sponsors are the Ofori Ajay family, and Carlos Dokeno is the recipient. Professor Ukushu, please present this on behalf of Prof. Ofori Ajay. The next award is the Professor Fred Binka Prize for the overall outstanding graduating female MBCHB program. So Professor Fred Binka is the sponsor, and it goes to Celestine Obudai. Okay, maybe we'll be a man here. One more, please stay back. Thank you. The next award is the Dr. Clenam Jeffy Tete Radiology Prize for the overall outstanding graduating MBCHB student. The sponsor is Dr. Clenam Jeffy Tete, and it goes to Japan, Kofi MP. I think she couldn't be here. I was still waiting for. Can the Dean of SOM make the presentation for us? The next one is the Ghana Medical Association Prize for the overall outstanding graduating MB-CHB student. So it's from the Ghana Medical Association. It's my understanding that the regional rep will be here. It goes to Ajapon Kofi MP. So Prof. Tabo will present the Dean's Award now. The Dean's Prize for the overall outstanding graduating CHB student. And it still goes to Ajapon Kofi Ento. Of the School of Medicine Awards. The final award is a university-wide one. The first one is the Professor Fred Binka Prize for the Outstanding Graduating Student with demonstrated service to the university community. The sponsor is Prof. Binka, and it goes to Victor Loglo. The final overall prize is the Vice Chancellor's Prize for the overall outstanding graduating UHASTV student. The sponsor is Professor John Owusu Japon. And this goes to Ka Rosina Afuampoma. So the Vice Chancellor of this presentation. I mean, it's a laptop and then a book. Thank you all very much. We struggled to get awards. So if you are touched and you really want to help us as a university, please communicate this to me and we will welcome you very much. Thank you.
So congratulations to all the award winners of the class of 2020, University of Health and Allied Sciences. Now, I have a couple of announcements as we get ready to close. But before I do that, I would like to acknowledge the presence of many of our invited guests who took the time out to honor our invitation, despite all the strict requirements that we had placed on the invitation. We have from the Catholic Church, a Reverend Hilary Senu. You're welcome. From Whole Teaching Hospital, we have Director of Administration, George Tete. We have the acting CEO of the Whole Teaching Hospital, Dr. John Tampuri. And from Vice Chancellor's Ghana, we have Hardy Imoro, who's administrator there. We also have Dr. Seidu Mustafa, immediate past registrar at University of Professional Studies. We have Mr. Ben Apia Kubi, Executive Secretary, VCG. J.F. Freeman from General Headquarters of Ghana Military, I believe it is. Also, we have from the Ghana Police Service, the Regional Commander himself, E. Oduro Kwating, accompanied by several officers. We have with us also the Regional Commander of Ghana Immigration Service, Mr. Peter Mantuo Esquire. The Regional Commander of Ghana Prison Service, Mr. Andres Jokoto. Regional Commander, Ghana Fire Service, Madam Janet Eduya. And Regional Commander of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Customs Division, Samuel K. Foley. We have, along with the other officers, Regional Commander Evans Kueji of Ghana Immigration. We also have the Deputy Regional Commander of the Bureau of National Investigations, BNI, Wilson Sulemana, and the rep for the Whole Technical University Vice Chancellor, Dr. Richard Turkson, is also here with us. We also acknowledge the presence once more of all the awards that you have sponsored. Former VC, our foundational Vice Chancellor, actually, University of Health and Life Sciences. Professor Kofi Anyidoho, former Chair of the University Council. Professor Salifu, Executive Secretary of the National Council for Tertiary Education. And then, not the least, we also have Togwe Kojo Do the First, Chief of Sokote Lokwe, and the various representatives from other institutions. We see you and we appreciate you and we thank you for taking the time out to come and celebrate with us this significant graduation. We thank you also all the various directorates that worked hand in hand last minute to make this possible. I would particularly like to mention the staff of Public Directorate and Works, whose collaboration was just excellent to make this a success. With that, I call upon the registrar to come in and take us out. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was our Director of Public Affairs, Mrs. Maria Jira. Your Lordship Chair, Your Excellency, permit me to show appreciation to you, all distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for availing yourself to be present at our ceremony, our fifth congregation ceremony. Your Excellency, I want to thank you especially for making time out of your busy schedule to be here. I know it hasn't been easy to even schedule a time, but you have been able to be here. I will come on live with you. I wish to thank our Chairman of Council, who has always been with us. He's also a very busy person, but any time for the good of UHAS, he's always here with us. Let me thank our immediate past Chairman of Council, Professor Awun, for always also making the time to be present at our ceremonies when we invite him. I also want to thank Professor Fred Newton Binka, our founding Vice Chancellor of this university. Thank you. I acknowledge you, the Deputy Regional Minister, Reverend, for being here. Sorry for the oversight. And for Professor Salifu, the Executive Secretary of the NCTE. I want to thank all of you, Reverend Father Neil Ante Campbell, for being now a part of the university. You are now an alumnus of this university. So at the end of the year, I'll come for the alumnus due. And so we will inform you accordingly. I want to thank you all, Convocation, for sacrificing your time and effort. It's been a hectic week from Monday up to this time, but you have been with us. Thank you, our graduates. Without you, this ceremony would not have been possible. Thank you for bearing with us. Thank you for your time. Tagbio, Mamao, Akbenami, always honoring our invitation. On that note, I want to thank all of us, and I'm hopeful that come next year, if we do give out invitations, many of you, again, will make time to join us. I will invite the Chairman of Council in a moment to dissolve this ceremony, after which we'll have the closing prayer. We'll do the UHAS anthem, and then we will recess. Thank you so much for making time and being here. Thank you very much. The Chairman of Council will now dissolve the ceremony.
Thank you, Registrar. And now, by the powers vested in me as the Chairman of Council of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, I, Justice Victor Jones Maulom Doche, do hereby declare this dissolved.
Shall we please be on our feet? Thank you, O Lord, for the gift of life. Thank you for the opportunity to see this day. Thank you for our graduates that this great university has turned out. Thank you for Your Excellency, the Vice President, who has been here with us. Thank you for all of us that have made time to be present. We know that it has only been by Your grace and nothing else. And we adore You and glorify You. As we finish and make our way to our various destinations, take us safely home. May we reach our destination and give You all the glory. We are asking that You continue to uphold this university and make it grow big and strong. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen.
shall we remain standing for the recession of council and convocation? All invited guests are at the Vice Chancellor's Lodge.